Hello, welcome to the SuccessMentors.com overview of the Havener Success Flipchart. And what this document is this is a flipchart presentation to help you show people how to make money with Manatech. And so it's also going to show you how to work with your customers, improve your retention, and things like that. And what this document does is it's really a simple way that really anybody can get started showing people how to do the business. And so with that said, there's really two sides to the flip chart. There's always the side that you're presenting, and every time you flip the page over, your customer or potential prospect sees the other side of it, and on the back side are your notes on what's going on with the front, and maybe some ticklers to help you know what to talk about. And the way you want to think about this document is it's not a script. There's no script for this, but the information there is really just a guide to help you stay on track and stay focused with showing this presentation. And so I'm going to show you really in less than 10 minutes how this document works and how to use the document. And so now I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on some of these things because those trainings are going to be covered at other places like the 4 steps and form. And so what you'll do is you'll just use the system. Definitely make sure you come back to successmentors.com and get those trainings because they're going to help you really get the most out of using this flip chart. So with that said, here's the front page of the flip chart that people see, and let's go ahead and page down. Let's see, there we go. And as we page down, you can see there's just a statement here. What do you truly desire? And a really nice letter that you might even want to go ahead and turn around and read to your potential prospects or your customers. And I'm just going to read a little portion of it. Like, how would you feel if you could spend all the time you wanted with the people you love? How would your life look if you didn't have to worry about money? How would you feel if you had a life filled with purpose? And then our desire is to help you live your desire. We do that by helping you launch your business in a professional, duplicable, and profitable way. In the last 24 years, we have successfully helped thousands of people in 16 different countries create life-changing incomes. And you can go on and read the rest at some point, but let me show you what's on the back of that page is your notes. And so as you're maybe showing people your audience, and whether it's you could be doing a training for your downline, you could be using it as a way to show your potential business prospects or customers how the business side of Manatech works. But if you look, it says, pause and ask the group about this. Ask them, what do they desire? And again, this is a guide to help you have a conversation with the person you're working with. And so what your real goal is there is to find out their why. And I'm just showing you an example of your notes that you'd be looking at. And you'll see a note here to say use form and what form is and some example questions that you might ask. And so again, you're not necessarily going to read all of this. The goal is just to use it as a guide. If you're more experienced, you might just not even look at that side of the page, or you might just look at some of the bullets and kind of hit the highlights there. And so let's get back to the presentation. So after you have that initial conversation, and by the way, that is the most important part of it, is when you're asking those questions. You're going to introduce the 4 steps here, and the first step is the Core 4 cycle, and there's 4 parts to the Core 4 cycle. And so this is all about making their names list on step 1, and you see a lot of information about how important it is to do that in the first 24 hours. You always want to talk about that being in the first 24 hours. Down here you see some mind joggers and who to look for. And so again, you don't want to read all of this, you just want to use it as a guide. On part 2 of the Core 4 cycle, that's where you're going to talk about form, and you're going to use that while you're contacting and inviting people. And then on part 3 of that, you're going to present the plan and the products. And presenting the plan and the products could be anything from giving them a CD and sitting down and listening to it, taking them to the yesplan.com on a website, giving them a video and watching that with them, sitting down with them at a restaurant and doing, showing them the 4 steps on a napkin presentation, get them on a 3-way call. Any of those things count as a presentation. And so part 4 of that is you're going to ask them to get started. You're going to say, like down here in closing, do you have any other questions before getting started? And at that point, they're going to say yes, or they're going to say no. And you're gonna either enroll them or you're gonna follow up with them later. Maybe they're not ready to make a decision right then. If they do have questions or even concerns, don't be offended by that. That's actually a good thing. People that don't say anything, those are the ones you probably want to be most concerned with. So if they have some concerns or maybe things that they want to ask about or think about, that's all good. What you want to do is utilize your upline, utilize your crossline, get answers and provide solutions for that potential business partner or prospect. And then we're moving on to step 2, is creating teams of 6. So this is really at the core of how we grow our business. It's one of the core concepts is finding your key people to work with. And you might just go over, look, it's really simple to do this business. You want to create a team of 6. You want to do that by registering just 2 people. You want to help your 2 find their 2 people. And then part 3 of that is you want to help your team create their team of 6 all-stars. And as you do all that, it's telling you what the bonuses are as you go through here. And so look, you can see by down here, you've brought your bonuses up to $2,600 on just a $499 investment. So that's a great deal. So and then you're going to show them. You might say something like, "Hey, let's play a game." Sit down and help them make up a list of who do you know that would like to feel better, live healthier, have more energy. Who do you know that would like an extra $400 or $500 a month? Who do you know that would like an extra $4,000 or $5,000 a month? Really, all of that's possible. And so then you're gonna just help them kind of get the picture, kind of paint the dream for them that, look, we're not looking for hundreds of people. We're really just looking for the right 6. And then you're going to talk through this document. And again, there's more trainings on these documents and other parts of the successmentors.com system. So we're just kind of showing you the picture of how to use this flip chart. And then step 3 is the customer care program. And of course, we know if you've been in Mantech for any length of time, we're a very product driven company. 80% or more really of people who come into your business are just going to be there for the products. And so what this part of the system is designed to do is help you create happy customers, help you improve the number and quality of your referrals, and help you retain your existing customers. So you're going to want to talk about that. And then step 4 is awards. This is how we recognize people who are moving through the steps, and we're going to recognize them as they get their $1,000 profit for the first time. We're going to recognize them when they've earned their $2,600 in bonuses. We're going to recognize them, when they have 20 customers, and a number of things like that. So guys, what that does for us, that helps us keep people excited that are moving forward. And then the last page is simply just a list of the different testimonials that are available, and you can choose to read those or not. It's up to you, but it's more validation. Those are people who've been successful building a business using the 4 steps. And so in a nutshell, that's your overview of the Havener Success Flip Chart.